There we go. All right. Oh. Interesting. Why not? Do it all. Do it all. Why not? Okay. So so here's the lesson for today, guys. Here's the lesson for today. We were looking at the gold market yesterday, and we draw out these purple boxes here. All right, let's just take a look so that we understand the significance of these purple boxes. These mysterious purple boxes that we've put on the chart, okay? The purple boxes are the trend cloud, okay, from the top of the trend cloud to the bottom of the trend cloud. And that was right here. This was the 4-hour trend cloud, okay, which is right here. And we boxed it out. Now the 4-hour trend cloud is right here, okay, because we went up a little bit. So we're adjusting our trend cloud box, right? We're adjusting that trend cloud box just like that. And look at what we've got here, okay? 4-hour trend cloud. And in this box here, this was the 1-hour trend cloud at the time. See, you can see it from here to here. Okay, and since then, all of this took place. All right. So now we are, let's go to comments here. So now we've gone past that, right? We've gone past that purple box, broken through this 1-hour demand zone. And now we're in the 4-hour purple box here, the 4-hour time frame. And what do we have here? Look left, structure leaves clues, and you will see this right here. Okay? And that's where we are at right now. So I just want you to practice that. Okay? I just want you to practice that on your chart. Draw out the high time frame trend cloud in a purple box, and then find the market edge, okay, and draw a little green box in there. So here's the high time frame trend cloud, and it's on it will show up on your other charts, okay? And the way you make any drawing show up on your other charts is to click this link right here, okay? Sync drawing options. That's what you want to click on your TradingView platform, okay? Gold extends decline after CPI data. Yeah, we knew that. We saw that coming from yesterday. All within technical analysis. No fundamentals needed, right? This is all technical analysis, and we saw it there immediately. So once again, high time frame chart right here. Here's your trend cloud. Box the trend cloud out in a purple box, okay? And then start looking for the demand zone inside of that purple box. Well, on the 4-hour chart, we also have the market edge right here. And that is represented by this drop base rally on the 1-hour chart. What does it look like on the 15? Look left. There you go. Drop base rally into a rally base rally. Okay, this sort of consolidation here. And we're just going to box that out, and you can see it made a reaction, right? It made a reaction off of that area. Very cool stuff. Okay, that's very important to understand. What happened at the breakout today? It broke out to the downside, hit that demand zone, and then bounced off of it. And we're still going down. Why are we not just taking this long? Why are we not just taking this long? Well, take a look. Cycling down, downward momentum, high time frame. Cycling down, and a lot of downward momentum on that CCI indicator. All of the force right now is going to the downside. You've got a lot of force going to the downside, and that does not put you in a good position to take this trade. And why is that? Let me show you. Let me show you. In this situation, even though you're hitting a demand zone on a higher time frame, even though you're hitting a demand zone on a higher time frame, if you have momentum on your high time frame and middle time frame going down, you could get something like this. This is what we got. Look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are your 5 waves right there. This is very possible. Maybe you get the bounce out of this demand zone, but it would be short-lived, and then a breakthrough. You have to think that way. You have to think that way. Otherwise, you will take every single demand zone that you see, and we don't like doing that. We like to filter out our demand zones, supply and demand zones, right? We like to filter everything out. And we like to filter everything out with momentum. Momentum filters. That's why we call it a momentum filter, right? So high time frame, trend is up. Middle time frame, okay, trend is up. People are reading this as an upward trend because we have higher lows and higher highs, right? Right here, you can see it didn't make it, and we broke structure to the downside right here. Okay, so price action did break to the downside. So you even have middle time frame The middle time frame price action is to the downside. And you're adding momentum. You're adding momentum to that picture as well. So there's a lot of people here, that are seeing this demand zone and they're saying, oh, this is a demand zone. That means I buy in this area. That's a very simplistic viewpoint. That's a very simplistic view on supply and demand zone trading. Find the demand zone and buy it. Find the supply zone and sell it. That's a very simplistic view of supply and demand zone trading strategy. And you've got to get yourself out of that. You've got to add more to the plan. Okay. Sometimes I see people and their trade plan is like 5 pages long, right? Their trade plan's like 5 pages long and everybody's like, ooh, ah. And then all they do is just buy and sell demand zones. They just buy the demand zone here, sell the supply zone up here with this 5-page plan. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, let's talk facts. Let's just be real simplistic with our plan, right? If you have an uptrend, yes, you are looking for demand zones to continue that uptrend. Okay, where are those demand zones going to take place? They're usually going to take place inside of your trend cloud, this area right here that we boxed out purple. Okay, so in this purple box, here you go. Here's a demand zone. All right. It's also represented on the lowest time frame right here and right here. Okay, so we've got the full demand zone covered. We've got the full demand zone covered. So why are we not taking this demand zone? Well, take a look. A tremendous amount of momentum going into this demand zone. A tremendous amount of momentum. We need to wait. We need to wait for something like this. Maybe we hit that ADR checkpoint. And then we do something like this. Here's your low, higher low, break of structure. Now you're ready. Now you're ready to take the trade. By the time we form this pattern, we should have a cycle up on your middle and high time frame, and we should start to see something like this. Breaking back above positive 100 on that CCI. Those are the components that we need to see in order to take a demand zone long. That's a lot more information, isn't it? That's a lot more information. And it's more difficult, isn't it? It's more difficult to look at multiple time frames. It's more difficult to add several other factors to taking a supply or demand zone. It's more difficult in general to do that, which is why beginners usually don't do this. So think about that. If you're a beginner and you want to simplify your trade plan by just looking at one time frame and by just taking every single supply and demand zone that you find, that's the most simplistic way that you can think. And you're thinking that way because it's hard. It's hard to look at multiple time frames. It's hard to decipher what the candlesticks mean. Okay, here we go. We're coming up on that ADR checkpoint. All right. Well, why don't we just take the ADR checkpoint? Well, because that's not part of the plan. That's just one piece. That's just one observation. Okay, that's just one observation. That's not a plan. The TrendCloud trade plan is to find, in this case, find a demand zone and make sure that you have your middle and high time frame trend going up. You also want to make sure that the momentum on the middle time frame is up and the momentum on the high time frame is up. So we need to have trend and momentum on both time frames. Trend, high time frame, trend, middle time frame needs to be up in order to take this demand zone. Momentum on the high time frame and momentum on the middle time frame needs to be up in order to take this demand zone. And they are clearly not. Okay. The cycle indicator, which we put on every chart, every time frame, helps us understand the timing. It helps us understand the timing of the candlesticks. Okay. So you can see on this 15-minute chart, we are still impulsing down. We don't even have a hookup on K yet, right? We don't even have a hookup on K yet. Drop down to the 5-minute. Just starting on the 5-minute, right? And look how close we are to that ADR checkpoint. Okay, so we will see if you're waiting for a reversal of some kind, you will see it first on the lowest time frame. You will see it first on the lowest time frame. Oh, that is really good. Oh, that's real good. This is a great example. This is a really great example of how to wait. This is a great example of how to wait for your demand zone. All right. A lot of people say you can't time the market. And look, you can't time the market. You cannot time the market perfectly. You definitely can't time the market perfectly, but you can get really good at estimating. You can get really good at estimating, okay? And that estimation, all right, so the way this is going to look, let me erase this. On the low, on a low time frame here, okay? Let's just put it in here. What you're going to see on the indicator itself, on that cycle indicator itself, is going to look, it's going to look something like this. Okay. That cycle indicator is going to look something like this. Now, what will the candlestick pattern look like? It's going to be very similar, but what we really want to see what we really want to see is we want to see it kind of consolidate a little bit like that. Okay. We want to see it hit a couple of times and then make a move up with this pattern. And that's what I have noticed using this type of method. Okay, using this type of method for timing that entry. And sometimes you don't always get that. You don't always get that little consolidation pattern where the candles are very small. You see like a bunch of you'll see a bunch of like small candles like this, you know, and then you'll see that big breakout candle, right? During this process, during this little consolidation process, you will see this on the cycle indicator. You will see this pattern on the cycle indicator. All right. Now on the 5-minute chart, with all this downward momentum, look at what we've got. We've got our momentum signals. Okay. So I'm going to take this video and turn it into a lesson for you and post it on the in the membership area, the TrendCloud membership area for you. So this will be a new instructional video on putting it all together. It'll be in your putting it all together section of your membership area. Let's go back. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just boxing out that demand zone on the 1-hour chart, just like that. Purple box, 4-hour trend cloud. 4-hour trend cloud with the demand zone inside of it. That's usually where the strongest demand zones form. In this particular case, we cannot take that demand zone because momentum is against us. If you want to get aggressive, then you wait for that cycle indicator to turn over. Okay. You can see it doing it right here. But we need a couple of crossovers, right? We never just take one crossover. It's got to look, all right? It's got to, here it comes, right? It's got to look like this. We've got to have that pattern on the lowest time frame in order to take the trade. If you want to go against momentum, right? If you want to start lining up the cycle indicators, like here we're getting that cycle starting to point up on the middle time frame, right? Hey Frank, good morning. Good to see you. So we're starting to get that cycle up on that middle time frame as well. So we've got it building on the 5-minute chart, and we're going to have it pretty soon on the 1-hour chart. And last, it will show up last on the high time frame. Makes sense, right? So that's what we're waiting for. But the main gist of this, the main point is that we're not going to get involved with a demand zone that has a ton of momentum to the downside here, right? We've got red across the board, right? And even that middle time frame here, that middle time frame has broken structure right here. See that? Right there. We broke structure. So essentially, price action is to the downside on that middle time frame. So with all this downward momentum and now price action to the downside, you have a better chance. You have a much better chance of going short right here on the pullback. And look where that pullback is on the low time frame. Whoops. Look where that pullback is. Right inside of the opening range. Opening range made a, look at that, pulls all the way down, hits that demand zone, retests the supply zone, and breaks through. Okay. Doesn't quite come all the way back to the opening range, but it definitely hits that previous day's close and then makes a move down. The one bad thing about taking this short here is that if this does come back up and hit this area, we're asking it to break through. We're asking it to break through structure, right? And we don't like that. So if anything, we really want this to come up and retest this area again, in which case now it's not fresh, right? So we missed the opportunity on the retest of that demand zone. When did that take place? 8:45 in the morning. Okay. 8:50, and then boom. So do you see how important it is to understand momentum on the higher time frames? Here's a 5-minute demand zone, or I'm sorry, a 5-minute supply zone right here. 5-minute supply zone. We've got the middle time frame breaking to the downside here. You can see it on TrendCloud, right? We're breaking below the 50 simple to the downside. We've got a supply zone right above it with a ton of downward momentum. Downward momentum, downward momentum. And what did we do? Well, we pulled back right here. We pulled back right into that supply zone and made a move down. Why did this work? Well, this worked most likely because we've got downward momentum. So that's a really good example of why some supply and demand zones work and why some supply and demand zones fail, right? The major cause. That's actually really good. I'm gonna write that down real quick. Make sure I don't forget that. strongest zones. Right? How to take advantage of the strongest zones. All right, what's going to happen right here? Hitting that, right? Hitting that ADR checkpoint. When we were looking at this, we were saying, "Oh wow, yeah, that's a demand zone with an ADR checkpoint. Man, why don't we just buy it right here? Why don't we just buy this, buy this area here?" Because of this, right? You've got a ton of momentum against you. There's a ton of momentum against you. Watch this candle completely reverse now, right? And what does that tell you? You got to be ready for anything. You've got to be ready for anything, and you never know what the market's going to do. You don't know what the market's going to do ever. Don't ever think that no matter whatever system you're using, you got to remember the market can do anything it wants at any point in time. That's why your risk management should be so important. That's why every trade you take should be less than 1% of your account. Wow, look at that. Now, how did we predict that? Right? We took a real good guess. We took a really good guess. Take a look at what's going on here now. Let's open up the Globex trap here. Look at how we are at 92%. So this thing has traveled over 92% of its average true range in the pre-market. And now we're hitting a demand zone with an average daily range checkpoint. Okay, so there's your reaction there. There is your reaction. ADR checkpoints. Why are they so important? This is exactly why they're so important. Now, that still doesn't change the fact that this demand zone has a ton of momentum against it. So what's going to happen here? Will this be short-lived? Is it going to look something like this? Right? As long as this demand zone has momentum against it, it's dangerous to take. It's really dangerous to take. And let me explain something real quick to you guys. Trading, okay, is for short-term rapid growth. Short-term rapid growth has a lot of risk to it as far as win-loss ratio, right? We already know how much money we're going to risk. We control that. And in this live room, what we usually do is nothing over $200, right? Nothing over $200 risk. But the main objective of trading is short-term rapid growth. And trading a small account, okay, is not it's not for taking $500 and turning it into $5,000. I mean, you would think that was the idea, right? But it's really not the most ideal way to use your trading skills. You need more of a buffer. The more money you have, the better success rate you're going to have in trading, okay? Why? Because a $20,000 account gives you a 1% is $200, right? Okay. A $2,000 account, your risk can only be $20, right? So there's a big difference even in the micros, right? Even trading any type of micro account, $20 is not a lot of wiggle room. Okay, it's like this. Go try to trade crude oil, the full contract of crude oil, with $1,000. You'll get wiped out. In one trade, you'll get wiped out. Because the risk, that 1% risk, it's like a hair. It's like a hairline fracture, That's what it would look like on crude oil on the full contract. On the micro, at least you've got a little bit more wiggle room. But if you had a $20,000 account or a $100,000 account, with a $100,000 account, now 1%, that's $1,000. It's $1,000. So $1,000 is a lot more wiggle room in the micro account than $20,000, than your $200 wiggle room. Okay, so the bigger the account, the better chances you have risking that 1%. So when you see these automated trading systems at work, and I'm not saying that they don't work, and I'm not saying that they're scammers or whatever. I haven't tried any of them, so I can't. But what I can tell you from experience with discretionary trading is that, and from my observation, what I can tell you from my observation as well, studying and interviewing these trading systems, these automated trading systems like NERP and Minotaur and Blue Edge Financial. Okay, it's very exciting stuff. It's intriguing. Okay, all of those people who are using these very expensive software, okay, it's $25,000 for the software. I think Minotaur wanted $10,000. And if you're going to do it, you might as well buy the best, right? So the software itself, very expensive, but these guys are trading six-figure accounts. All right. The ones that they always show in examples and the ones that they show you when you sign up for a meeting, a discovery call with them, $500,000 account, $1 million account. We're retail traders. We're trying to build $1 million account. We're trying to get to six figures with our $5,000 account or our $20,000 account. So, can a guy who can only trade a $5,000 account afford a $25,000 piece of software? I guess you could do that. But what size account? You're going to spend all the money on the software program, right? Are you mentally prepared to buy a $25,000 piece of software and then risk $100,000 that you just made because you sold your house and you have that money sitting in the bank on a piece of software that you've never tried before and that you know, you're just taking this person's word for it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow, look at this. Remember, guys, this is the 5-minute chart. Very interesting, right? So, this looks good, but we're not ready to take this trade because of all the downward momentum. Here's the first cycle up. What we need to see now, this has to cycle back down and do something like that. That's the pattern that we're going to look for. I'm going to leave that on the chart. I'm going to leave that on the chart and see if we could get that. You can see how the cycle indicator or our timing indicator is going to line up with this. We're already getting it. We're at the bottom of the cycle on the high time frame. What do we want to do essentially? What do we want to do? We want to rejoin the upward move, right, on the highest time frame, right? Here, pulls into TrendCloud, make the move up. We want to rejoin this uptrend on gold. And I am showing you step by step what TrendCloud looks like as that move takes place. But as of right now, the charts are not lined up yet. They're not lined up yet. So this is a really important video. I'm going to edit this video out because it will be for the hour. We may go a little bit longer depending on where we are within the lesson. But I'll filter all of the pauses out, and it will just be a solid lesson on what TrendCloud looks like every step of the way in the process of making that making all of the time frames line up together. This is what the process looks like, step by step. Okay, so we are making a brand new video here for the membership area. Man, that is so good. This is a this is tea with a local honey that has got it's raw unfiltered honey with lavender in it. It is so good. Got it at Publix. It's a local bee farmer here in South Florida. Nice. Okay. Right, so not quite ready yet. Not quite ready yet. Let's erase the lines. We understand what we're trying to do here. We're trying to rejoin the high time frame, right? A lot of that still downward. Price action is down. We want to rejoin this move. We could, and the first thing we need to break through this demand zone here, right? That is a 1 hour demand zone. Drop, base, drop. Take a look at it again. Take a look at it again. drop, base, drop, right in there. Nice looking supply zone, real nice looking supply zone. Broke a lot of structure. So this supply zone is very powerful. This is a formation, right? Drop, base, drop, a formation that broke structure. That's very powerful. Any formation that you see that breaks through structure is super strong. That is super strong. All right. So, you know, when you look at it on the low time frame right here, when you look at it on the low time frame, we need to break through this. And if we break through this, we will start to see that momentum shift on our charts. Okay, and we're going to watch and see that. Now look what's happening here. This looked like a trend reversal, right? That's exactly what I said it was going to look like. This was going to be very short-lived. This was going to be very short-lived. When we saw this candle, we said, wow, this thing is just going to take off. And then it started to break through structure, right? It's hitting this drop base drop right here. Okay. And we could see, right, hit the ADR checkpoint, pulled back. All that momentum is still on our side. So it's very possible to push this down further. Maybe it wants to hit this ADR checkpoint. We're going to watch and see. And when I edit this video, we won't have to wait for it. We'll see it immediately. This is going to be a fantastic lesson. This is going to be a really good lesson, guys. So you are getting to see, you are actually getting to see right now, okay, what all this stuff looks like step by step. This is what TrendCloud is built for, showing you step by step price action. Why do we want to know and see price action step by step and know every piece of the moving machine, right? Every moving part of this machine. Why do we want to know that? So that we can make a better informed decision with our trading. Okay? Guys, I'm so excited for you to get this down, because when you get this down, that's when you're consistently profitable. And I'm not talking about win-loss ratio. I'm not talking about win-loss ratio. One of our TrendCloud members, Kazi, he actually said, I think last month, he made 16% on his live account last month, and it was a 44 or 45% win-loss ratio. But he still made 16% on his live account. Okay? Don't worry about the win-loss ratio. Now, in my data, and I give you this data when you get TrendCloud in your journal, in your trading journal, my data shows that when you have trend and momentum on your high time frame and middle time frame, when you have that lined up, trend and momentum on both the high time frame and the middle time frame, 70% of the time, your demand zones or your supply zones will hit 2 to 1. Okay? 65 to 70% of the time, right? 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 times, it's going to hit 2 to 1 when you have that lined up. That's phenomenal information. That information alone is worth 10, 20 grand. How much money are you going to lose before you have a trade plan? You know, how much money, how much more money are you going to lose because you don't have a trade plan? How much more money are you going to lose because you don't have a trade plan? Okay, so pulled down, hit the ADR checkpoint once, pulled back into this area here. Let me get rid of some of this purple. Let's get rid of the Globex trap. Right, pulled back, and now we're probably, here you go. Do you see how the cycle indicator is starting to turn red right here? Cycle indicator starting to turn red right here. Notice that, okay? We're looking for this pattern again. We're looking for this pattern again. Now it's starting green, it's turning green again. We're getting more of a move up. What we're looking for up here is something that looks like this. Okay? We're looking for that pattern. See how it's similar? See that similar? See that? That is a pattern that is so powerful in trading. And if you have a good understanding of it, if you study that pattern, see how we have this high peak? Here's your high. Here's your lower high. Break down. Okay? And it happened during this consolidation. When you see this pattern take place inside of a consolidation, that's what you want to go short. Okay, so we had consolidation. We had a nice double crossover here, right? High, lower high, start to cycle down inside of this consolidation. It also took place in the same area as the opening range. And what else, guys? What was the big factor why this supply zone worked out? What was the big factor? Oh, momentum is down, right? Momentum down. Take a look at it right here. Let's put a vertical axis line on it. This is a great lesson, guys. Okay? Cycling down, momentum is down, cycling down. That's why this worked. That's why you saw a move to the downside here. Here's the pattern right there. Okay? Go back to focusing on that 5-minute chart. We're just reading the chart here. Here we go. Starting to make another move up. So far, this looks like ADR checkpoint inside of the demand zone is working, and it's working against all that high time momentum. That's how you can verbalize this. Is this going to be short-lived? Most likely, because you've got a ton of downward momentum. And again, middle time frame, we broke structure. Price action is to the downside. Did we come into a demand zone? Yeah, we did. But we've got price action to the downside, momentum to the downside, and we are way below our TrendCloud system. Candles are now yellow, meaning we are transitioning to a full-on downtrend. So you can see TrendCloud, when you understand how to use all of the little moving pieces of TrendCloud, it will give you a full perspective of the market. When you can use all the little pieces of TrendCloud, it will give you a full perspective of the market. Write that down. When you start to understand all of the moving parts to TrendCloud, it will give you a full perspective of the market, play by play. That's what allows you to make an informed decision. And here it is. We know exactly what's going on. Look at what's happening here with that cycle indicator. Look at what's happening with that cycle indicator. Okay. We're starting to get that little pattern. We're starting to get that little pattern. Does this make another move to the downside and maybe hit this ADR checkpoint? Very possible. Very possible. Very possible. And you can see that pattern forming, right? So what do we want to see again? We want to see this. We want to see a new cycle form, right? We want to see that cycle come down and form the same pattern that we're seeing right here. We want to see it down here. When we get that, look what we're going to have. We're going to have it on this time frame as well. Now we're going to be able to rejoin that right there. Once we get it on the low time frame right here, right? Once we get this down here, we'll start to see it here, and then we'll start to see it on the high time frame. We'll start to see it on the high time frame as well. And then we'll at least have those cycle indicators all in alignment. So this was a really good lesson. And again, I'm going to go over this. I'm going to edit this video for you guys and put it inside of your TrendCloud membership area, the paid membership area for you, okay? And it will be a lesson in putting everything together and every moving piece of TrendCloud, all right? The trend indicator, the cycle indicator, the momentum indicator, the CCI indicator, putting it together with the supply and demand zones, okay, the ADR checkpoints, the Globex trap. We've used everything today in this one example on the micro gold and showed step by step what the patterns look like. So this is essentially a little bit of pattern recognition lesson with the moving pieces of TrendCloud added to it, right? So it's a great lesson. Again, right? Here, look at that crossover. Take a look at what's happening here, right? Take a look at what's happening right here. Look at how we're getting that double crossover, right? See how we're getting that double crossover here? Just like this. Just like this. That's the pattern. Here's a double crossover. This right here looks like a triple crossover, right? But you really want to see those crossovers take place. Here's a single. Okay. Here's like two small singles, single. Here's a triple. Triple cross, single cross. double cross, single cross, here, triple cross. Okay, triple cross. Consolidation, triple cross makes the move down. Comes up right here, double cross. It doesn't really work here, does it? Pulls back up, triple cross, and then a little move down, pulls back up, single cross, and the move down. So the majority of them worked, and you only had one right here, this one right here. This one didn't really work, right? Double cross, and then it went up. Then it hit the triple cross, went down a little, single cross, and then made the move down. There you go. There you go, okay? Complete transparency here. It's not 100% every time, but I mean, out of everything that we looked at, what did we look at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Out of all 6, only 1 failed. Out of all 6 of these crossover patterns, only this one failed. That's pretty damn good. All right. Wants to move back up. Maybe we want to hit this area again. Might want to hit that area again before the big move down. But this is what TrendCloud is built for. Showing you step by step, what is going on. I have a 10:30 meeting. Okay. I've got a meeting at 10:30. We'll go until, we'll go for another 10 minutes here. I want you guys to see how the patterns form. Here we go. Middle time frame. Candle is starting to turn red. Okay. Candle's starting to turn red. Does that mean on the middle time frame that we're going to look for some sort of resistance area, which is right up in here, to make the move down with all that momentum? So we've got this move down. Candles turn red. We find a resistance point at that supply zone to make the move down, which would mean that the high time frame will not rejoin this upward movement here. It will find support, and maybe it wants to pull back to the 50 into this zone down here. Do you see how we're following this step by step of the way? That looks pretty messy there. Okay, so what we're saying is, okay, will it be this pattern or will it be this pattern? There, that looks better. Okay. Are we going to rejoin the high time frame trend from this demand zone? Or because of all this momentum, is it going to pull back to the supply zone on the 1 hour chart and continue the move down? You will never know. That's the level of uncertainty that you have to get used to. So how do we figure this out? Well, you have to wait. You have to wait. Because we're in a uptrend on the high time frame, in order to rejoin this trend, we've got to see this fail. We've got to see this break through. We've got to see this break through the supply zone and then do something like this. right? We could get aggressive, okay? We can get aggressive once price breaks through this zone. We can get aggressive on the uptrend. We can get aggressive with it, but we've got to see it break through here first. Okay, we've got to see it break through there first. Well, that worked out really nice so far, but we still have a ton of downward momentum. Very strong here. Very strong move. Maybe this is going to form a triple cross, you know, like it did here. We're still forming it. We are still forming that pattern. Right here, going back to this zone. It might just decide to go sideways for a while. Don't expect it to do something right away. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's get rid of some lines here. All right. And we will see what this does. Does it break through the demand, the supply zone? Are the buyers back in control here? This is a level of resistance. This is a level of imbalance. The supply zone, level of imbalance. This area here where the trend cloud is, that's a level of resistance. Who is in the room right now here? Who is in the room here right now? Any questions? I see people in here. Mostly people just watching, I guess. That's totally cool. So there you go. Coming back into that supply zone. Frank is here. Oh, man. All right. Here we go. So this is one of those things where, well, you know, well, why don't we take this trade short? Well, because we're really, that high time frame is in an uptrend, right? And we need the trend and momentum to be in alignment with each other. So guessing is not what we like to do, right? We don't like to guess. We like to follow a trade plan. Trend and momentum need to be in the same direction in order to make a decision. Trend and momentum need to be in the same direction in order to make a decision. Yes, I will be at the meeting at 10:30. Okay. Now, how, you know, we're calling the shots here, right? So this is a great piece of software that you guys have, because we are literally calling the shots before it happens, even before the news comes out. We're calling the shots. You need to be able to do that first. If you're able to call the shots like that, then you know that you've got a strong understanding of all these moving pieces. the trend, supply and demand, support and resistance, cycle, right? Your timing indicator, your momentum filter. You understand that you need that across multiple time frames. And that's where all the coaching courses for TrendCloud, okay, in your membership area, you've got to go through those coaching courses. I've seen too many people purchase the TrendCloud membership, and when I look back at the progress, I can see how much you guys have done. I can see how much you guys have watched the videos. And some of you are watching the video, you're only watching like 15 or 20% of the course, and then you're jumping into the live market with your system. Please don't do that. I may have to go back and make it a bit more regimented for you guys. You know, it might do you guys some good. It might give you, that's a really good idea. I think what I can do just to get you guys responsible, you know, hold you accountable, is to only give you access to a certain part of the course so that you don't get brain overload, and say you can only go live with your TrendCloud. You can only go live once you've completed this much, you know, of the course. And I think that will help you guys. We'll figure that out as we go. But here we go. Okay, so we're retesting that previous day's close right there. Here's the supply zone, and we are retesting. A lot of downward momentum. So essentially, if we want to rejoin the upward trend, right? Because we're following the context of the highest time frame. The context of this is up, right? Here's the uptrend. I don't think anybody's really shorting gold, right? With the way the account is. Thanks, Frank. I appreciate it. Yep, meeting at 10:30. I will let you know how it goes. So yeah, so the context is up, so we want to rejoin the uptrend. Well, that means that we have to have a few other things in alignment, right? We've got to have momentum with us as well as that trend. We don't have that yet, so we have to wait. What exactly are we waiting for? We're waiting for some structural change to take place. And that structural change would be a failure of this supply zone. We need to see this supply zone fail to give us the first signal, the first inkling, right? The first idea that we're actually going to be rejoining the uptrend, is that this has to fail. US stocks battered by brawny CPI. All right, whatever. We can see what's happening step by step. We have TrendCloud. We don't need the news. We have a TrendCloud system. Calling it every step of the way. Calling it every step of the way. All right. Here's the retest. We've got the retest. Let's see. Does it break below really quickly? Break below that candle for another move down. So look at how price is respecting this supply zone. This supply zone is holding. Why is this supply zone holding? Because of momentum. This supply zone is holding because all the momentum pressure is down. Here we go. Cycle indicator, triple cross. once. Didn't really cross there. So this is really a double cross. But look at that. Okay. There you go. Nice upward cycle here. Look at that rejection candle. Right? Looking good. Looks like it might want to break through, in which case this thing is just going to continue to go like this. This is a bounded indicator. Okay, this is a the cycle indicator is a bounded indicator. If we get a strong move out, it's going to do something like this. Okay? It's just going to stay up there and do something like this. Because this is bounded. Oop. Here we go. We've officially hit that supply zone. Now, everything is 2020 in hindsight, okay? Everything's 2020 in hindsight. Oh, why didn't we take this? Well, you had a ton of momentum against you. And in many cases, it forms something like this and then makes the big move down. If momentum is against you, that's when you will get faked out the most. You will get faked out the most. False breakouts. Okay. There we go. Break on through to the other side, right? Nice hook up. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Look at this, guys. Look at how momentum is shifting on the high time frame. Momentum shift on the high time frame. Momentum shift on the high time frame. Flashing, right? If you're in a trade and you start seeing the high time frame momentum filter start flashing, you may want to get out, right? It's a signal. This is another moving piece. These are all moving pieces. The trend, moving piece. The cycle indicator, moving piece. Momentum filter, moving piece. CCI, moving piece, right? And then across each time frame. High time frame, middle time frame, low time frame. Those are all the moving pieces to TrendCloud. You have to know what each one does in order to use the system. And when you do, you can start calling it low. Look at this. There we go. There we go. We're officially retesting the opening range. And look what we've got here. Cycling up. Nice rejection candle. So it did. It came down. It hit that ADR checkpoint, but we really need to break through this thing. And I don't mean like break through it like boink, like just a little peak. I mean, we want a nice break above, close above on this area here. Nice break above, close above. Okay. Nice break above, close above. And then, let me erase all these little lines here. Oops. Okay, and then on the way back down, we can start getting aggressive. Okay. We have to clear this structure, break through this structure here. Break through this structure. And then cycle back down on that low time frame cycle indicator and do something like this, guys. A double crossover, maybe a triple crossover, right? We want to see something like that. And then we can engage our TrendCloud signal. There you go. Look at how TrendCloud is making it nice and clear here about what is going on. Okay, now we have a good understanding. Now we have a good understanding. Now we have a good understanding. Yellow transition candle. So TrendCloud is telling us every step of the way, right? What's going on. So here you go. Yellow transition candle. It's going to start turning green, pulls back, and then we get this. Then we get this pattern right here. Okay. Great lesson. Great lesson in putting all the pieces together on your TrendCloud system. We're going through every step of the way, reading the chart and reading all of the pieces and calling the shots. Reading all the pieces. We're reading trend. We're reading the context of the trade in the TrendCloud. Cycle indicator reading. We're reading the momentum. We're watching it flash from red to green, watching it happen. Here we go. Breaking above structure now. Breaking above structure. There you go. Okay. This is confirming that the context of the high time frame trend is in play. Starting to get that momentum shift right here. Starting to cycle up. Look at the double cross here. Crosses once, crosses twice right here. Here's that pattern on the high time frame right there. Here it is again here. Right here. Double cross right there. What do we get? TrendCloud signal, move up. Green candle. Green candle. Breaking above the trend cloud on the middle time frame. Perhaps we go and we hit this ADR checkpoint here, and then by then, you know, it'll be 11 o'clock. Things will start to go sideways. But as soon as we get a trend cloud signal, I'm going to set an alert now. 5-minute chart. I want the 5-minute trend cloud signal. Let's set the alert. Trend cloud right there. Click onto your trend cloud. Hit once per bar. Okay. And we want the up entry arrow. That's what we want to see. Okay. Micro gold long. Create. There it is. Active. Let's get rid of this. We don't need that one anymore. There you go. So now when as soon as we get that momentum signal, Soon as we get a momentum signal to the upside on gold, I am jumping all over it. I am jumping all over it. So you see, that is how we followed this trade from beginning to end. All right. Now, guys, I'm going to have to go. I have a meeting. This was a great lesson. I'm going to end the stream right now. And then I will edit this video for you, and I will put it inside of your TrendCloud, the paid TrendCloud membership area for all of the TrendCloud members. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks again. And if you're interested in TrendCloud, just go over to just go over to my website, and you can check out the free trade plan there, and you can also see about purchasing your TrendCloud system. Thanks, everybody. Take care.